Today we're going to talk about challenges of growing a small business. When we think about small businesses, we often focus on the success stories. But after watching this week's lecture and the interviews with Missy, Scott, Garish, and Cal, one thing became clear to me. The real story of entrepreneurship is about overcoming challenges while growing the business. One challenge is working in the business versus working on it. One of the biggest challenges mentioned in the lecture is shifting from working in the business to working on the business. Scott had to learn how to build systems, how to hire employees, and grow operations instead of just selling insurance products. Missy had to move from being a teacher in childcare to become a business owner managing multiple locations. Garish started by personally making calls and selling diamonds, but eventually had to expand into new markets and strategy. So growth requires stepping back sometimes and becoming a leader and strategist, not just a worker. Another challenge is hiring personnel and managing people and building the right team. Scott talked about how the pressure of hiring employees and being responsible for their families and income, it's a goal for him. Missy had to recruit staff during COVID when workers were hesitant to return. And Garish built trust with employees like Cal, empowering them to grow the business like if it was their own. So hiring the right people is critical to your team, becomes your brand. Another challenge is maintaining quality and customer experience. As a business grows, maintaining quality and service consistently becomes very difficult. In insurance, Scott focuses on educating customers, not just selling them a policy. In jewelry, Garish emphasized trust and delivering exactly what was promised. In childcare, Missy had to meet strict state and federal regulations and very high safety standards. So growth can never come at the expense of quality control and the trust. The next challenge is financing growth. Every entrepreneur faces financial pressure. Scott went from a strong salary at his previous position to making basically no income initially. Missy was rejected by multiple banks before finally secured an SBA loan. Garish operated with very small profit margins before expanding his market. So growing a business requires risk, it requires sacrifice, and creative financing at some point. Growth also requires systems, processes, and structures to handle scale. So what do we learn from these stories? And what do these stories show us? Growing a small business means facing leadership challenges. It means financial pressure, also hiring and people management, maintaining quality, and constantly adapting. But the entrepreneurs who succeeded are the ones who stay persistent, that build trust, and grow through the challenges. Because in the end, success isn't about avoiding challenges, it's about growing through them.